Can the world change in a minute? That's the question that many people have when it comes to Mashiach. Understanding the sheer magnitude of the change the Mashiach will bring about to the world, they find it very hard to understand, looking at the world the way it is now, the world will so fundamentally be transformed in such a quick amount of time. The truth is, we already have a precedent by this, by Yetzias Mitzrayim. We know that Yidden left Mitzrayim in a hurry. They didn't even have time for their dough to rise. Once it came the time for them to leave Mitzrayim, the Eibusher did not keep them even for the blink of an eye. When it came the time, it happened, boom, it happened very quick. Particularly nowadays with COVID and everything going on, I think one thing we've learned from this experience is that you can never say never. The whole world could be transformed very quickly. But what did the Psukim explain, and what is the understanding behind this idea that how can we understand that it's possible for the world to change so quickly? So we know that the Rebbe mentioned, based on the Gemara Masechta Tainus, that there's an opinion that a kohen is not allowed to drink wine because it could be that the Beis HaMikdash will be built and he will be needed for the Avodah, which means, as based on the Gemara comes out, that within a span of 24 minutes, which is the amount of time that it would take for the effect of wine to wear off, it's possible that from the point of the time that he's drinking wine in Galus, where he has no inkling that the Beis HaMikdash or Mashiach is about to come, but within 24 minutes everything will be done and ready for him to do the Avodah in the Beis HaMikdash. So we see that in a very short amount of time, the whole Gula could happen in a very quick amount of time. How is that possible? So the idea is like this. We find in Psukim, as is explained in a number of Svarim, the Rebbe mentioned a number of times, that he expressed a number of places, we find that it says that the coming of Mashiach, it says, Be'ita achishana, that in its time I will hasten it. And this verse seems to be self-contradictory. It says, in its time, meaning that Mashiach will come in its proper time, and it says, I will hasten it, which means it will come before its time. So there's the famous explanation of the Gemara. The Gemara says it depends. If we're meritorious, it will come before its time. If we're not meritorious, it will come in its regular time. But there's another idea over here, based on the simple meaning of the pasuk, which means that both come together. It will happen in its time, yet it will be done in a haste, which means that when Mashiach will come in its time, we could hasten its time, but regardless of whether we hasten its time or not, even if he comes in its time, there's the manner in which he comes, not the time that it comes. The manner in which he comes is in a way of haste. Everything happens very quickly. And the idea behind it is, people could relate to it in life. If you have a kid that's overtired, so it might take a long time for him to get him into bed, but once he's in bed, he'll fall asleep instantly. The idea is that once something is already programmed, once the world demands something, so then there might be certain things that are holding it back from happening, and those things that are holding it back might require a prolonged process to remove them. But once the obstacles are removed, since we're dealing with something which is already fundamentally programmed into the world, and the world is demanding it, it doesn't take much time for it to happen. Many people could see in life experiences that there were things that they were waiting for years and years and years, and there were so many obstacles, but when the time came for it happened very quickly. Because when the time came means that this was the time that it was programmed from heaven to happen. There were no blockages, so everything happened very quickly. So this is the idea how the Gula could happen very quickly. It's not just to be understood that it will be a miracle, nature will be broken, and everything will happen much quicker than it's supposed to. But no, if we understand that the Gula is something which is already through our Avodah for so many years in Galus, we've already brought the light of Mashiach into the world. It's just something blocking it from becoming revealed. Once we remove the block, it shouldn't take any time for it to be fully manifest. So this is one of the ideas that we have regarding the Geula, which is similar to Yetzias Mitzrayim. The same way Yetzias Mitzrayim, once the time came, so it happened very quickly. The whole Jewish nation, which was a huge undertaking to take out millions of people in Egypt, but it happened very quickly. Similarly, by the Geula of the coming of Mashiach, it's going to happen very quickly. So this is the way explained in a number of Svarim. Also, the Chafetz Chaim explains on the pasuk. It says regarding the coming of Mashiach, "Ki bayavi v'lo ya'achar," he will come, he will not delay. What does it mean? He will not delay. So there's a number of interpretations. But one interpretation is he says the same idea that when Mashiach will come, the process of the coming of Mashiach will not be delayed. There won't be a Oiske Shlep de Mais, as we say in Yiddish. It won't take a whole process for it to happen. But once he comes, everything will happen pretty quickly. But the point is, it gives us a perspective to understand, when we understand that this is how the Gula will happen. First of all, it encourages us that we should do our Avodah without delay. We should, as Rebbe said, that in order to bring about the Gula coming in the way of Achishen in a quick way, we should do our Avodah in a quick way. But more importantly, it gives us a perspective to understand the relevance of the coming of Mashiach. Mashiach is something which is already embedded in the DNA of the world, and the more Avodah we do, the more Torah mitzvahs we do, the more we bring the light of Mashiach in the world. And although we might not see it in the last moments of Galus, when Mashiach will come, we will see that the effect of it will definitely make that the Gula will happen in such a quick and unbelievable manner, and this is all done through our Avodah in the time of Galus, when we think that we don't see the effect of it and so on and so forth, but the effect of it will be revealed when Mashiach will come. And one of the effects is that it won't take any time for things to be manifested. Will happen take it from the Yad Mamish.